one sound, one scene, one love, one team, one vision.
So we're here today because Elena and Broderick wants to share their story.
Okay, so I never told anybody about what I'm about to share with you other than like my siblings and like real close-knit people in my circle. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry, number one, but number two, because I wanted this moment to be authentic.
Okay.
Okay, because I want to share my story because I believe it's going to help somebody.
Okay.
Okay? Can't even take it off.
Okay. Yeah, surgery.
I did. So it kind of
Wait,
happened.
Was that going on when when I met with you last time?
I was about to have the surgery.
Okay.
Yeah, I hadn't had it yet. So this just kind of like all happened out the woodworks. This was happening in July. Okay, before the live podcast show. Well, let me backtrack.
I thought it was right after.
No. The symptoms was happening before the live podcast show, but I didn't find out anything until after the live podcast show. So remember you was texting me, what's going on? Where you at? You MIA? You and a whole other bunch of people was just texting me.
Because it was strange one day, like I was like, man, I said, I haven't heard from Elena. I've never seen her on social media. I said, let me check on her because that's strange, you know?
And I was like, I'm dealing with real life. And I just was telling everybody, I'm dealing with real life right now. So around July the 8th to be exact, because we had something going on that I remember, I had went to the ER. But before then, what prompted me to go to the ER was one day we were sitting on the couch, we was watching TV, and we were laughing, and I put my neck back, and Roger said, you know your neck is swollen. I said, my neck not swollen. I said, I don't feel nothing, I don't see nothing. You know, I look at myself every day and I never notice. And so he said, yeah, I'm telling you. So I said, snap a picture. So he did. And sure enough, I had a little puffiness in the left side of my neck. But I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, well, you know, maybe it's because I got a throat infection because we both had a sinus infection.
Right.
I said, that's probably what that's from. Went to the doctor a couple days. Sure enough, we both had a sinus infection. I had a post-nasal drip, all that stuff. So I brought it up to the doctor's attention in the ER. It was like, well, it's probably some swollen lymph nodes from the infection, but we're going to give you some antibiotics that should clear it up in a couple of weeks. Cool. Fast forward the tape, live podcast show came. I still had a little puffiness, but I was snapping pictures to see, you know, the journey of it. It was going down, this and that. It was still going down, but it was still there. And I was like, well, I'm completed with my antibiotics. You know, it should be gone. So we talked about it. So I was like, you think I should go get a check again? He was like, well, yeah. I said, but I'm going to go. But I was kind of procrastinating, but not really.
Right.
I knew I was going to go, but I was taking my time because it wasn't bothering me. So my dad's 70th birthday was August the 4th. And my dad was just like heavy on my heart, heavy on my heart, heavy on my heart. And I don't know, I just felt grief, you know, leading up to his birthday, and I couldn't shake it. And I was like, man, I don't know why, you know, my dad is just heavy on my heart like this. I was like, I don't know why. It just was weighing on me. So
it's like nothing you experienced.
Nothing I experienced. It's 18 years since my dad been gone. You know, I shouldn't be feeling grief like fresh like this, but I felt like it was a sign, you know. So I'm in the store. I'm in Dollar Tree. Corey calls me. Mom, I need to talk to you about something. I said, well, babe, I said, I'm almost done at the store. I said, I'm going to talk to you when I get home. So my child texts me. She texted me this. Keep in mind, my children.
That's coming from a 7-year-old.
My children didn't know
what was going
on.
Okay. Oh, man.
7.
Oh, that made me want to cry.
So, when she texted me that, I text her what I text her, and then I called her.
And the dream could have been that he stabbed you anywhere. Like, look where he stabbed you.
Right. So I pick up the phone, I called her, I calmed her down, I dropped everything, I went home. So I said, you know what? I told her, I just said, babe, that's a sign. I said, I'm going to the emergency room tomorrow. What is the date on this?
August 3rd.
Next day is my daddy's birthday. I go to the ER, right? So for those of you who don't know, my dad died with cancer, right? So I said, I'm gonna just go. I told Roger, you don't have to come. I'm gonna go by myself. I'm good. Get to the ER. They look, they start running tests. I'm in there about 3-4 hours. They did an ultrasound. They was like, you have a lump, a mass in your neck. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean? They was like, well, it's full of fluid. We're going to have to send you to a specialist. Okay, it could be anything.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. They hooked me up with the specialist. I got a 6-day waiting period before I could go see him. So you're telling me I could possibly have cancer and send me home to wait. So I felt like all the just life drained out of me. Went home. I called Roger on the phone. He's like, babe, just calm down, boom, boom, boom. Get home. Girl, I broke down. Broke down. We broke down. Called my sister, my brother on 3-way. We broke down on the phone. So, oh Lord, that was like the worst day ever. On my daddy's 70th birthday, right? So like all that day, I just couldn't function. I went to bed early. We cried together. He was like, look, I understand you're going through this, but mentally you can't stay there.
Right.
He was like,
okay, so hold on before you continue. So Corey texted you that August 3rd?
the day before.
Mm-hmm.
The day before.
My dad's birthday,
The day
and I
before.
went to the ER.
Okay, and it was grief with your dad. So all that was
It was
making
piling
sense.
on me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I felt like all that was a sign, right? So tell her what you told me, because you're going to remember verbatim.
Not verbatim, but basically I told her, I don't want to hear that. Like, I'm not trying to hear nothing negative.
Right.
I understood what was going on. You have your moment, but anybody that know me, I can't stay in that space.
Right.
Because I know what it's going to lead to.
Right.
So I just told her, like, hey, we know how we speak, and you have what you speak. If you keep down this road, this is basically what's going to happen.
Right.
Don't worry about it. We're gonna move and do the things we need to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he was like, you're human. I get it. We human.
Right.
We're gonna use this day. We're gonna feel. We're gonna be human. We're gonna cry.
Allow yourself to feel.
Allow yourself to feel. Girl, I couldn't sleep that night. I woke up crying again, just sobbing. It was my dad. It was me worrying about what was going on. And it was like, okay, just holding me. Let's come on, get it out. Because tomorrow we ain't waking up like this.
Yeah. This is it after today.
So
you gotta move and
the next
focus
day
on what's the most important.
The next day I wake up and I was like, you know what, you're right. Because I talk about this all the time, and now it's time for me to really implement what I talk about, right? So the next day I wake up and it's like life was put in perspective for me. Like everything that I do on a daily basis with businesses and everything that I do, social media, that didn't even cross my mind.
Right.
The first thing crossed my mind was my children and my husband, right? And then my health, my overall well-being. And it was just like, that is what's most important. That's what I need to put my time, energy, and effort and focus into more on a daily basis, right? All that other stuff is important, but when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, this is what really matters, right? And so I was coming on social media randomly throughout the time, and I would put up little posts, but those posts was for me. That was to keep me inspired, keep me happy, and trust in the process, right? So I woke up the next day, whole different attitude. I said, you know what? I'm gonna choose to believe that small possibility. That's what I'm focused on, the small possibility. So my sister was calling me. She was like, girl, you okay? You need me to come? I was like, I'm good. I am good. She's like, I'm so surprised to hear you talk like that. I said, I am good.
Right.
At the end of the day, it is what it is, and whatever it is, I'm going to defeat it. I'm going to tackle it, and it's going to be whatever it's going to be, right? So fast forward the tape. Following week, I go to the specialist. He looked at my neck. He did the ultrasound. He said, you have a a 4 centimeter size mass next to your windpipe. And it has fluid inside of it. And we gotta have surgery because if we leave it alone, it's just gonna grow. And it could, affect your breathing and your windpipe eventually. So he said, you could take your time with it or you could have surgery immediately. I was like, let's have the surgery immediately. He's like, I'm gonna need to do a biopsy to see what it is. But he said, it could be or it can't, but I'm not gonna know until I do the biopsy.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm gonna roll with that. You don't think that it is, you don't know what it is, you the specialist. If you knew that it was cancer, you'd have been like, you done seen these cases before. So I'm gonna choose to run with that. So, post on Facebook, best news I got in my life. That was me affirming what I wanted to have happen. Remember when you was like, chicken, what's going on? What's the best news? That was the news. The doctor said it was a possibility it wasn't cancer.
That was good enough.
That was good enough for me.
That was good enough.
Okay. So I had to wait on my surgery. I think I had my that appointment like what, August the 11th or something. I didn't have my surgery until September the 9th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was about a month.
Had my surgery September the 9th. It was an outpatient surgery. Good morning. It is the day of my surgery. September 9th, 2021. It's going on 8 o'clock in the morning. I have to be inside for 8:30. I'm having this nodule removed from my throat. I don't know how well y'all can see it from this angle, but it's 4 centimeters, about the size of a lemon, next to my windpipe. So it should last about an hour, and then about an hour in recovery or so. So not too bad, outpatient procedure. I'm feeling a little bit anxious. I'm guessing because my better half cannot be in the building because they're not allowing people inside because of COVID, so he has to wait outside and whatnot. But that's what's going on today. So yeah, regular Thursday morning. What about you, boo? You silly.
You need to stay positive. That's what.
I am positive.
That's the only thing I gotta say. Don't worry about nothing. Relax yourself.
I am. One thing I can say is I'm getting ready to get the best sleep ever because they're about to put me out. And man, it's sad, but I don't mind going under because I'll be feeling so rejuvenated when I wake up. So yeah, I'll keep y'all posted later. The hardest part about the surgery was recovery. This is day number 2 after surgery. I'm doing a lot better today. Yesterday was rough. I had a 5-hour recovery. But today's a new day and I'm feeling a lot better. It's my new normal, guys. So excited. I can't wait until Monday I can take these drains out. But this is just my update video. My kids were a little concerned yesterday, but I'm glad that Roger and I prepared them for the drains because they look worse than what it is. But yeah, this is my new normal. So I'm going to make lemonade out of lemons and deal with it like I usually do. So you never know what life is going to hit you with, but just know that you can handle it. So, but as of now, I'm feeling okay for the most part of it. So grateful for my husband and my kids. They've been a good support system in taking care of me. So yeah, day 2 update. My neck is a lot sore. It just feels like the worst crook in the world. That's the best way I can put it. But yeah, I'm doing good so far. So I'm happy about that. I recovered very well. I didn't have like no pains or anything after the surgery. The only thing that bothered me was my neck because the position that they had to put me in to perform the surgery. And I stayed with neck pain about a good week and a half. I mean, it was excruciating. I couldn't even pick my head up. So I came back home with a drain on my neck. It looked worse than what it was. I came back home like this.
Oh my God.
Okay, and I had to keep that drain in my neck. I had the surgery on a Wednesday. I took the drain out the following Monday. Okay, guys, today is day 5 update. I'm super excited because I get to go remove this drain today. I'm actually on my way there now. Yes, no more of this.
Yes, because she got the stiff neck.
Whatever. I'm so scared to move my neck. It's ridiculous. And they've been on me about it, but I just don't want to rip nothing. But anyway, day 5. I'm feeling good for the most part. I just want to remove this so I can get on to the next phase of the healing process. But yeah, so I'm on my way there now. I'll update y'all afterwards.
Oh. I know it was elevated.
That's perfect.
Will you ever get a picture for me?
Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. Oh, I'm the worst.
I like to see what comes out of me.
Oh.
You're supposed to tell me that, and then I could have reminded him that morning.
Well, actually, the
She,
morning of.
she did, and I tell you, well, I will share with you this. Your surgery gave me a run for my money. It was, yeah. Now, the other thing too is it didn't. You couldn't really. Once I took it out, you couldn't really appreciate how big it was because just to pull it out, it was pretty large, and it kind of like popped basically. Like some fluid and stuff came out of it just to put the pressure on to take it out. So it wouldn't have been as impressive once I actually got it out.
I even remember.
Yeah, because I remember you told me
I asked
that.
the nurses in recovery. It was like, we don't have nothing.
Yeah.
You got it. You know what you have to do? You have to write a sticky note and stick it to his forehead.
Okay.
That's what you gotta do.
Alright.
You want me to page scan this in?
That's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah, no.
Swallowing okay?
You wanna keep this? You wanna just keep it for your references? Okay.
Gonna be fast.
Yes. Okay. Alright, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, can we borrow your finger? Can you push right here? Excuse me.
You made it?
I'm back yet.
Not back with us yet.
Then I removed the stitches that Friday.
Yeah.
And then it had to heal on its own. So after they removed the drain, and I go to the doctor to remove the drain, it was the hardest thing ever. I felt like the soul came out of my body. It was quick, but it was painful.
Yeah.
And then he pulled the drain out. He's like, everything is looking good. And then after we leave, I tell Broderick, I say, babe, I forgot to ask him what was my results. I say, that's because that's how unfazed I am about these results. Because
Right.
I believe that it's going to be negative. Even I got to go back Friday anyway. I said, my ass. So Friday comes, I go remove the stitches.
Okay, I am super excited today because today is day 8 and I am removing these stitches today. I am super excited. So I hope they don't hurt, which I don't think they will, because nothing can hurt like that dream. Please stop. I'm starting to feel like myself again. I'm probably about what, 95% myself again?
No.
What am I, babe?
You ain't 95. Surely not.
What am I?
Nah, I don't know, but you ain't 95.
Is that good or bad?
You still stiff-necked.
Yeah, my neck still hurt. I'm about to ask this doctor how did they lay me out on this table because my neck can't get right.
That's not the doctor's. That's her. She walking around like she can't move her neck, like she got whiplash.
How I'm walking around? I'm just scared. It's new.
My neck would be hurting too.
I might need to get a chiropractic adjustment after this. I don't know. But today's a great day. I'm happy getting my stitches out, so I'll update y'all later.
Now, your knots at the ends are gonna be the worst part, okay? All right. I'm gonna go slow. I'm gonna take my time. I don't wanna hurt you. Tell me if I'm hurting you, okay? You all right? Okay.
Okay, guys, I just left the doctor. I removed my stitches. Look how I look. My little beans, say like Corey. They're gonna be going away soon. The doctor is very happy with the results. He said it's gonna heal very well. It's gonna look very good. And over time, I'll barely notice it, but I don't care about that because today I got some amazing news. My pathology report came back, and you see on line B, no evidence of malignancy or parathyroid gland tissue identified. So no cancer. So I'm super excited, which that was the energy I was already putting out there, but to just hear the doctor verify that I'm all good, like a weight has been lifted off my life, and I'm just elated by these results. I can't even describe it, but I'm excited. The stitches did not hurt to come out. I'm just have a lot of emotion going on because, you know, to think that you might have something that scares the living daylights out of you, all you could do is think positive and, you know, always hope for the best. But to hear it reinforced by science that it's not nothing, I'm just so grateful, so blessed, and I thank God that I'm all good. So, yay. I'm so excited, y'all. Babe, he driving, y'all. I knew you want to say something smart. Oh, into the whole neck situation, I asked the doctor, that was not me caused my neck to hurt. He said it was the way I was on the table because my neck was cocked all the way back during surgery, kind of like this, okay, for like an hour during surgery. And I'm not the only, I'm not the only patient that complains with that. So it's not on me, sir. Whatever. But now I'm excited because I can go back to a normal life. I'm going to miss him taking care of me. He was a great wound care nurse, y'all. I'm telling y'all, the best ever, hands down. I'm going to miss it. But yeah, y'all, I'm so excited. Happy days. September 17th, Friday, 2021. Happy, happy, happy.
And again, I forgot to ask, but he came in the room, and as soon as he came in the room, he said, "No cancer." I'm like, yay! I said, you know what? I had even forgot that I needed to ask you about the pathology report. I said, because in my mind, I didn't have it. But it feels damn good to get that confirmation from a doctor saying that everything's all good. So then after that, about a month later, which I just had this appointment recently.
Okay, so today is my final follow-up appointment for my thyroids. I'm going there to check my levels to see if my levels have changed since surgery. If they have changed since surgery, the doctor said that I would need thyroid medication to regulate my thyroids. But y'all know how I think. I will not need thyroid medication because my levels will be normal because I spoke it, okay? But I'm going to keep y'all posted once I'm done with my appointment. Okay, guys, so I'm done with my appointment. The doctor gave me a clean bill of health. He said my thyroid levels were normal. I am officially released and I don't have to come back here anymore. So it is what I said it was going to be. So happy days, y'all. Happy days. I'm done with this.
So then I asked the doctor, I said, okay, what are some preventative things that I can do? What caused this? Why? He said, to be honest with you, that's nothing that you ate. That's nothing that you could have done. He said, we don't know why people catch this. You just have bad luck. I refuse to believe I have bad luck, but I get what you're saying.
Right.
So, like, if anybody going through something like this or you notice something on your body, go get it checked. You know, go get it checked. It's scary. I ain't gonna lie, it is scary. But you need to go get it checked because what about a prolonged this? It could have developed into something else. Then, after reading the pathology report, it was a cyst inside of the mass that I had. That could have developed into something. You know, I had it was a 2 centimeter size cyst on top of the mass. Because the doctor told me, he said, man, your mask gave me a run for my money. Because I asked him to take it out and let me see whenever he was done. He said you wouldn't appreciate the size because I had to break it up.
He said the size of a lemon?
He said it was the size of a lemon, but he had to pull it out in pieces. It couldn't come out whole because he said the way it was positioned and everything. I know I forgot to take a picture of it. I'm sorry. But yeah, just to say I also had a cyst on top of that. You know, so, but I'm good. I'm well. Focusing on my family. I haven't really been on social media since. Don't really plan on getting on social media like I've been because the time that I'm spending on social media is time I could be reflecting in
I just said
memories with my children and my husband. Because when things like this happen, we want to say we wish we had time. But what are you doing with the time that you have now?
Right.
We gotta make it valuable. We gotta make it count. You know. Social media is an avatar world. It's not nothing that's real. It's not even a real place. And a lot of us want to live there instead of living in the real world, living in reality, and doing the things that count. You know, so if anything I could take from this experience is value your time, value your family, prioritize your time and your family. Social media is okay, but when it starts to take over your life, when you start to compare yourself to other people, when you start to do things for the gram, for the books, then that's when I feel like it's detrimental to you.
Right. You know, it's strange.
And your mental health.
Right. It is. I was just saying, I think I was talking to Kendra and Carly. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be on social media like that anymore. It's just, it takes too much of your time. You could sit down, let's take a break from cleaning.
Right.
And you find yourself on there for hours just scrolling.
And then the day done went by.
The whole day.
Yeah.
You so many things you could have accomplished. Nothing.
Right. And like I tell you all the time, I'm only on there for my business. If I wouldn't have businesses, I wouldn't be on there at all. You know, I enjoy people, but I'd rather talk to them in real life and experience them in real life than on social media. Because
so here's what I wanna go back to. In that moment when y'all allow yourself to feel, what did you feel? Was it anything? Were you able to think positive in that moment?
No.
Or it was just negative?
No. I was like, why me?
Why me?
And you know, I go against that. Why not you?
Right.
But I was like, why me? You know, I watched my mom go through that. I watched my dad go through that. Why my kids? And that was the why me. It wasn't so much about me. It was like, why my kids? Why my husband gotta become a caregiver, or why my kids have to witness me go through something like that.
Right.
And it's like, why me at that point? Right. And he was the best doctor, nurse ever. He cleaned my wounds, he took care of me, waited on me hand and foot. You know, the only one that was, not saying enjoying it, but it wasn't gruesome for her was Corey. because she's fascinated with things like this.
Yeah.
The other two, Karan and Kinsey, that is the best break I had from my kids.
They was not
They was
bothering
like,
you.
Mama, you okay
Yeah.
from a distance?
And that was it.
I hope you feel better. Not Corey, Mom, can I clean your drink? Can I touch your neck? Can I see? Does it hurt? Do you need something?
Oh.
That's my little nurse. That's my
Yeah.
little mama. She
Yeah.
reminds me of how my mama treated me. You know, so
Right.
she acts just like my mom. But between him and Corey, I was good.
But like, what did you feel like? Did you think of death?
I didn't think of death. I just thought about what I went through as a kid, watching my parents go through that. I put myself in that headspace again, and I was like, why my kids?
Right.
That's what I thought about the most. Why my kids gotta go through that? You know, like, it's not fair for him when he married me. He didn't essentially sign up for this.
Right.
Why? Which he did.
I was just gonna say that you do sign up for
Contractually,
all of it.
he did, but
Yeah.
and that's another thing. When you get married, you know, you always say these vows for better or worse, through sickness and in health, but you don't think about
You
that.
don't think about
You don't
it.
put that much weight on
Right.
it when you're saying those vows. And when it was that time for me, this man showed up, continues to show up,
Right.
continue. And when I don't feel like myself, when I'm not happy about where I'm at mentally, he's always there to, hey, you remember what you said? Remember what we got to do? Remember the plan? Da-da-da-da. Okay. So, baby.
I wanted to know too from him, like, what was your thoughts like? Like, what did you think of?
I don't want to hear nothing else. Like, what we said we was gonna do, which was see our children. That's all I don't want to hear nothing else.
And that's what he kept saying.
I mean,
That's what he
like,
kept
this is what
saying.
me and her set out to do
Mm-hmm.
in this lifetime. So I don't want to hear nothing else.
Right.
I understood everything that was going on, but it's to keep her in that space and like, hey, no.
But
Yeah.
you were keeping her in that space. But
Yeah.
sometimes we can keep somebody in that space. But sometimes we're dealing with our own fear and our own little issues on the inside by
Right.
ourselves. But we don't want to show.
In that
But
moment,
he
in
allowed
in
himself.
that moment, I I'm gonna have that. I had
Yeah.
that moment with her, and at that moment, it was there because I'm looking at her, and she's help. I can't help her.
Right.
So in that moment, yes. But after that, it clicks. Like, no, we're
Yeah.
not doing nothing else.
He allowed himself to
Yeah.
be vulnerable. He cried
Yeah.
with me. He sobbed with me. We felt in that moment.
Mhm.
But what's so special about him, he don't allow me to sit in that
Yeah.
moment.
I can't stay there.
Because
I just can't.
I believe if I'd have sat in that moment, I wouldn't have got the results that I got.
There's a lot of things that I'm not saying a lot. I watch her like with her mom, go through that space, but then after seeing that with my dad, like I seen it, I touched it.
Right.
I gave him CPR. I did that, and I watched him go. He looked me dead in the eyes when he was leaving. So at that point, I understand the spaces at that point. After seeing that, there's nothing else. Like I'm not gonna sit there and be boo-hoo, but like you said, we're gonna feel at that moment. Okay, well let's check our emotions. We did this. Now what else is there?
Right.
Like you said, we got kids.
Right.
What they gonna do? Cause same thing they would teach us as when we was younger. Like you fall, get up. You have your moment. You're gonna cry, but then you move on. And I would always think about when my dad would tell me that even in the moments, like, don't cry for me, but have your moment.
Right.
Like when I was hit, that's when you should be hit.
Yeah.
So it's my duty to be there in the moments, not just just kind of like pacify. It was okay. No, it ain't okay what you're doing.
Right.
Because if you sit in that moment, that's what's gonna happen and take over you. That thought process, okay, it's not as negative. You're turning that little thing into something big. Because it could have been anything doing. It could be something like a car accident. Like I don't even look at a car accident being bad. Okay, move on.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have the room no more to sit there into anything that can take us from where we said we want to go.
I think that's a good thing. But like somebody like me, I think I sit in it too long.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
what do y'all do? Like, cause it gotta be like is it something y'all recite in your mind?
Mhm.
It gotta be something, cause to me it's like how you're saying it is like you almost just turned it off. I can't turn stuff off.
That's not something that happened.
I think it's because
How do you get to that point?
we've
Because
been
I'll sit
practicing
I'll
it
sit
so
in it.
long.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
life. I think life did.
And we've both experienced death, right?
Yeah.
Because what
Right.
happened with him and his dad happened with me and my dad.
Okay.
My dad died at our house first. I was the one that was administered CPR to my dad. So when he was going through that with his dad, I understood.
Right.
And then revived him at the house, went to the hospital, died 6 days later. But no, 11 days later, 6 days in ICU. But so we have that. We understand that. And when you come face to face with death, it's nothing you can fear anymore about it. If that makes sense.
Because I think that was my biggest, up to that, it happening, I knew it was going to happen with my dad.
He was
So,
telling us this 6 months prior.
like, I seen it. So,
You saw your dad dying?
yeah, before it happened, in a dream. So,
Oh.
exactly how it happened. So
exactly how it happened.
Yes.
That's you in the dream. It did.
Yeah. So when it actually happened, I didn't think. I just reacted. But in the moments, all the conversations me and him would have that prepared me to get to the moment I was at. I learned at that moment, like, everything he did was actually to build me into who I was becoming.
Right.
It had nothing to do with, maybe I disagreed with him or anything like that. It wasn't about my feelings. It was about, hey, look, you got to understand, you got to take care of them babies, take care of your family, take care of your brother, your mom. Like, that's what this was about. That's all he would talk about with me.
Right.
So regardless how I might have understood it prior to that, when that happened, it just like everything did this. I calmed down and I started understanding, turning it on and off. It's kind of what you're saying. Like, at that moment, I didn't call it that, but it was more so like, hey, look, you have your moment, man, you say what you got to say, or you do what you need to do in that moment, and you let it go.
Right.
Because if you sit in it, your past holds on to you. Because I could sit in that moment with my dad and what's going to happen?
You're right.
I mean, I'm dying with him at that moment.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, I'm checking out every day anyway.
Right.
I'm getting closer and closer to that day. But if I sit in that moment over there, I can't look at nothing around me and admire it and be thankful for it, have gratitude towards it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. I understand I want to plan for it, but I focus on what's going on in the moment. So I try to make sure I'm dealing with that moment as best as I can. Learn from it. I don't know everything in the moments, but I try my best to implement what I already know.
Right.
In those moments. You make mistakes, but the thing is, like you said, I don't sit in it. I do something, or we have a conversation about something, and I'm not gonna like it. She ain't gonna like it. So what? let's figure it out and move on.
Right.
Move to the next step, and then in that next step, wow, the light bulb go off.
Right.
This is what this was about. Like, so it's growth. It's one of those things that you choose to do.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you gotta just make your mind up and say, yeah, I'm ready to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this moment here is on a level like this. I've never experienced it, but it was. I guess I was prepared for it. So to speak. Kind of prepared because of what already didn't happen. But man, it's really you can't explain what the emotion is at that moment, but you just know, like, nah, I can't. I have what I speak. I go back to that. Like, I know I create this.
Right.
So this moment is something me and her already didn't create it somewhere. So we got to deal with it.
Right.
What outcome we want is what we go actually
Like
perform.
it's actually like playing back in my mind as he talked about it.
Yeah.
And girl, I was unglued. And it ain't easy for me to become unglued. But when it's happening to you,
Right. Shake it off. Shake it off.
Like I tell our, in that, like you was kind of, now when she's crying, like, what you do? What could you do in that space? But you know, you sympathize and, you know, at that moment, but then you know, hey man, we gotta get it together.
Right.
Like we have to. Like we got too many things, too many people that's attached to what we got going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's this or that, like, nah, we gotta make sure this is right for the long haul.
Right.
And you know, for me, these aren't sad. This is tears of appreciation.
Right.
Mhm.
These are victory tears.
You know, it's crazy because like when you're young, when you're a kid, what's the word I'm looking for? You're fearless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's like nothing to faze you.
We didn't think about nothing when we was
None of
running
that.
around doing
None
having
of
fun.
that.
Yeah, we talk about that sometimes.
Line off the dresses to
It
the
didn't
bed.
matter if we broke our neck, so what?
You ran
know?
outside all day long. You didn't care if it was hot.
Right.
None of that. Yeah.
But it's like you become an adult, you have kids. Like I seriously, and I'm asking y'all, like how y'all don't sit in a moment. Like how do y'all just say this is what it is? Like y'all affirming just positive. We're gonna it's gonna be a positive outcome. This was gonna happen. Like
You know why? Because I've seen what's on the other side of not being positive.
right.
Like I said, my mom.
And then, you know, making decisions too. Like, you know, you think
But
about
you know,
the
it's
decisions you
crazy.
made in
Like
process.
at times, like
My
My
mom
anxiety-
battled sickness. She battled her whole life. God-fearing woman. And it's not that she wasn't positive. It's just I see what's on the other side.
right.
How to stay in it. Kind of what you say, you would sit in it too long. And I can say the years I was a part of her being here still, you sit in something too long.
Y'all believe she said it?
At times. For our witness. So I can't
Right.
speak prior to when me and Elena got together, but
My mom was
If
a
you
God-fearing
sit-
woman. And she saw, like I told you before, the rapture come and get me.
Yeah.
I don't see no grave.
Right.
But at the same time, when you don't have the mental training
critical thinking.
to combat that outside of what the Bible says.
Cause you got to think about it. Like it's
And so when you go through life, you know, we human, we have fear. Things I forgot about this. Let me use my scar. We have fear. We human, right? We cast our worries on God. But at the same time, there's still action we gotta put for those things to manifest. And that's the training she didn't have. She didn't know how to manifest on her own. I'm gonna pray about it. God gonna take care of it. But at the same time, you're still not eating the foods that you need to nurture and nourish your body. So what you're asking God to do for you is null and void because you're not putting forth the right action.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So the
Right.
two is contradicting. But when you have them both, when you have the mental understanding to put forth the action, you don't worry. You pray, you let God take care of it, the Almighty, the universe, whatever you believe in. But at the same time, you put forth the action. Then the two can work together.
Right.
And that's what she was missing. So when I reflect back on my mom and my dad, great people, God-fearing people, but they were contradicting the things that was coming out of their mouth. If that makes sense. And that's why I
Not even
can't
knowing.
sit there.
Not
even knowing. And that's why I can't sit in that. Because I know that if I contradict what I say, I'm going to get the results that I don't want to see happen for my children.
Right.
For my husband. I watch my mama take care of my dad. I watch my dad take care of my mom. And it's not nothing that's pretty.
Right.
Because mentally, that caregiver is going through something too.
Right.
You know, sometimes worse than the person that's actually going through it, because they have to be the ones that's helpless. You know, they can't help their spouse. It's a lot. So like, even with what's going on with him, with his injury, with his back, all that stuff, I felt helpless because I can't help him. You know, but what do? Encourage.
Yeah.
Help as much as you can, but at the same time, that's when that mental gotta kick in, because the mental is what's gonna override everything.
Yeah, like you say, mind over matter.
The mental is gonna be how you gonna get through it. It's not saying you're not gonna go through it, but it's how you gonna get through it. And that's why we can't sit in that. That's why we gotta check on each other. Mental health is super important.
Yeah.
You know, and I say that to say this: we cannot wait until something is wrong with our loved one to show up. We have to show up when everything is right.
Yeah. That's why I tell you, like, every morning, like, y'all get a good morning text. Every morning.
Too many of us want to show up.
Sometimes if you late, we sit up.
Yeah. And you know
Like,
what?
wait,
A lot of times I'm
telling
up, but I'll be meditating to myself.
Right.
And I just, in that moment, I'm not.
He probably
I'm
got
not
about
doing
20 different group messages he going back
Yeah.
and forth in every morning. Every morning he don't skip a beat. The people that's important to him, he gonna tell y'all Grand Rising. Every single
And
morning.
I think it's good too, because
My
sometimes
sister-in-law be like, your husband never sleeps?
Yeah.
Oh, bring it for me. Yes, she said, bring it for me. Oh, no. I bet you that's Broderick.
Baba Talk, good morning.
But that is the truth, because, you know, too many of us want to show up when it doesn't really count. Because if I'm going through something,
That's big, because
Right?
it might help you in that moment.
if I'm going through something that's negative in my life, health, scare, whatever, and you show up for that, but you can't show up when I'm doing a grand opening for a business, or I'm graduating from college, or I'm celebrating a birthday, anniversary, whatever, then that's a problem.
Right.
Like Granny used to say this. We would get up, you know, we'd be at our house, you know, we all be sleeping over there. I would get up, maybe walk around. Good morning is for everybody. So this is something that was already in us.
Right.
Like, you know, Granny didn't play. You say good morning to everybody. So it.
Oh,
After-
I love Granny for so many of those.
Yeah, and when you sit there and you think about it,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
just-
that's what's important. So, like I would tell Elena, like just having that, just the simple conversations with her, it bring back so much what we need to be keeping and instilling into our kids.
Right.
So just that, and after my daddy passed, that's why it's like, nah, me and him will talk all the time, you know, but it's like, nah, I gotta start saying good morning.
Right.
It's up to me to do that. So all the things he was telling me was making sense. You are the one that has to do that. It's not to say they're not gonna do it, but you know better. Do it.
Right.
So that was part of the reason I
Because
started
I
doing
mean,
it.
like you say, I mean, not that we're not gonna do it, but sometimes we be so much in a fast lane. Everybody doing their own little
Slow
thing.
down.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Just
Slow down.
stop.
I'm big on that.
Nobody's thinking about that.
No, I'm big on
you
that.
know?
Slow down.
Right.
And I'm big about effort, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you could take off from work and you can cross states to come to a funeral, why you can't do the same thing to
Or
celebrate?
a positive moment for somebody.
You understand? Baby shower, wedding, whatever the case may be, why you can't put forth that same energy and effort to show up for that?
And a lot of
But we
times
want to
it's
give
not.
people out of respect
Yeah.
in the casket.
I think a
Where
lot
is
of
the
times,
respect and where is the flowers when we're not there?
I think a lot of times it's just more so that what you was kind of saying, we caught up in trying to survive instead of living.
Yeah.
And you miss, like you was talking about earlier, how we didn't have no fear when we was kids.
No.
You forget those moments that you woke up, you didn't think about nothing. You opened the ice box, can I have this? It was cooking you breakfast, whatever. You didn't have to think about nothing. But I remind my kids the same thing. You don't have to think about none of that.
None of that.
But
You know it's there.
Right.
It's there. And I have those same thoughts of, I don't have to think about what my wife doing. Where's she at? Is she happy? I don't have to think about that. Let's talk. Let's have them conversations so I know what's going on.
Right.
So if we in the moments and we breaking things down or staying positive, whatever how we breaking it down at that point, you get to understand like, no, point A to point B, there's something in the middle that got to get taken care of. So once we taking care of that, then we can go to the next step. You can't go to the next step without taking care of that middle ground.
Right.
And the middle ground is where we meet. Regardless of what it is, we're gonna have a different view. We're gonna see things different. But the thing is, how can we become one in that moment to move to the next thing?
Right.
And that's what we choose to do every time we have, disagreement, whatever it is, or life, something that was unexpected. Okay, how can we take this and we both be in that moment together and help each other move to the next step?
Right.
And that's what we usually do. Not usually, that's what we do. You try to
So what would be our best advice for somebody that don't know how to do that just yet, that haven't really gone through as much as y'all went through, and have the tools to learn how to cut it off?
You gotta listen. And this is something my daddy would say. Use your eyes and your ears. Keep your mouth closed because you're gonna miss something. I understood it, so to speak. After he passed, I started really understanding it more.
Wow.
But then, like Elena what used to tell people, well, I talk now. I have a conversation. But prior to that, I didn't conversate. When I met Elena, I was still a person. I didn't talk.
Right.
If you didn't know me, be like, man, this dude got a problem or this, that, and the third. No, I was just taught to use my eyes and my ears, assess what's going on. But it made so much sense why he was telling me that. You gotta really critical think. This is what I learned in college, critical thinking. But he was telling me that then. Because you can get into a situation, you gotta think about what you're doing and make an honest decision, not based on your feelings. What's best for the overall situation that's going on? We talk about some stuff like, oh, I hope this. I don't hope nothing.
Right.
Hope your light bill get paid. Like there's no hope in that. It better get paid.
Right.
That you gotta know what's going on.
Right.
Because our words we speaking is
Creates reality.
yeah, it puts us in a space that we're not realizing. That's why certain things I'm very conscious of what I'm not gonna say it. You might say it jokingly, but your intent is cool, but you gotta be careful.
Look, let me tell you, I don't feel like to say I'm broke no more.
No,
okay,
you
I'm
can't.
not broke. I don't have the money to spend right now.
I don't want to spend that
I
right
don't
now.
have it to give
Yeah,
right
you-
now.
you
I'm
have
not
to.
broke.
Right.
You
I'm
have
not
to.
claiming that.
Right.
Because you actually gotta remember we are speaking these things into existence.
Right.
Exactly.
So to tell somebody how to get to the place we at, they can't get where we at. They can get where they need to get at. But it's just simple of
But how though?
you gotta make the decision to turn it on and
Right.
turn it off
And
hit.
for me, okay.
But that's not as easy.
Right.
What easy for me?
Even though I
It wasn't
went through
easy.
all this and all this, I still sometimes battle with that. He got to pull me back in
Pull you
sometimes.
back.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, babe, remember? I was like, yeah, but it's just, babe, it's
Yeah.
it's just.
It's no
You know?
it's no
Because
one
when I
thing.
tell you I'm a piece of work, I was a piece of work, right?
Yeah. So when you're battling and when you're going through it, what are you telling yourself? Because I know you're helping yourself trying to come out of it. So when you're helping yourself come out of it, what are you telling yourself?
I'm a self-talker. Elena, get it together.
Get it together.
Or
Okay.
sometimes I'm gonna stand in that mirror, or sometimes I'm just sitting down. My kids might, but they do it too, so they don't think I'm crazy. I do it so much around them, they start doing it too. But I'm a self-talker. Get it together. You can't be doing this. You're better than that.
Right.
You gotta practice what you preach.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to myself literally just like this. You're wrong for that. Take accountability. It's not their fault. It's your fault. What are you not
just
doing?
said, I think that's another thing that
You know,
somebody can jump on.
You see,
accountability.
I'll do that, but sometimes that other thought is so strong.
Oh yeah.
It's
But you
beat
said
me
it.
I
down.
thought about it
I'm
too.
sick.
No.
There you go.
Oh, and it's
You know
not
what?
just that day.
There
You
you
might have
go.
thought about it yesterday, last week.
But let me tell you
Yeah, so yeah, you gotta-
when
Oh
you
my
think
God.
about something for at least 17 seconds,
It's
it
gonna hit,
perpetuates
yeah. It's gonna
another
hit.
like thought.
Mm.
So that's
So
why you gotta monitor
dead
your
it
thoughts.
right when it happens.
Yes, that's why you gotta monitor your thoughts and really pay attention to it, because you can correct that and pivot. You gotta correct it and pivot, or else it's gonna continue.
That's why
It's gonna
I guess
continue. Like a spinning wheel, it's just gonna go.
I forgot who said it to me, but I got a thing with if I feel something is too negative in front of me, I'm gonna say something. For the
Like
simple-
what? Like what? Like what you mean?
Just I mean, if I feel somebody is too negative around me,
oh,
all the
okay,
time?
okay, yeah.
I have to say something because if I
Create that
allow it,
boundary.
Yeah.
if I allow it to stay there,
It's gonna undo.
it's gonna come into my space.
And it's gonna take a while to undo.
Yes, because
All
I
the
know
work.
better. I know
Yes,
better.
you know what I say?
Yeah.
All that work that I did,
Yeah.
I gotta protect my vibe and my energy.
Yeah.
I don't just let anybody come in my
No.
space because it's gonna unravel all the work I've been putting in.
Right.
And that's what that means.
And most people don't realize they doing it because
Because-
they do it so much.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you know better, you gotta sit there and be like, nah, man. If you tell me something negative, I promise you I'm gonna find a positive in it.
Every time.
I have to because that's what I'm designed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to say negative is not there. You need it, but the negative part is for you to grow.
Right.
But if I know better at that point, nah, hey, let's find the positive in this.
And it's just for me,
You know?
sometimes it's not easy to find the positive, especially when you're hit with a medical scare like what I just went through,
Right.
or some terrible news about anything. But at the same time, it just feels better to think about positivity and positive things.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think negatively, it brings on sorrow, pain, confusion, sadness, whatever. It doesn't feel good with that. But when you think it's easier to think about something positive than it is negative. So when I was going through this, after I had my day to feel, I was thinking about everything positive.
You know, because my dad.
So you
used to
give
tell
yourself
me,
a day,
Gave myself that day.
one day.
That whole day.
Man, for me, in order for me to get past something, I gotta sit in it for a while.
I
That's
used
how-
to be
But
that
that's
way.
how I get over it, because I feel like if I don't allow myself to sit in it for a while, I'm not over it.
I used to be that
And
way.
I have to do that to get over
used
it.
to be
You
that
know what I
way.
would tell her too? A lot of times, when something is affecting you, maybe somebody dead or sick, it's really something you need to fix in yourself. It's something within you that you do to somebody else that's actually causing you to be upset that is happening to you. Like they say, karma goes around, comes around.
And you notice it. You notice
I
it.
never thought about
We just
that.
went through this,
Right.
and I ain't gonna really speak on it, but it was some stuff that was being done. We was paying somebody to get done and do, and it wasn't getting done at the way that I wanted it to do as far as the time frame. And it was just ticking me off. I was just so upset. He's like, babe,
It's not that serious.
it's not that serious, but why is it affecting you like that? You don't think you do that to other people sometimes? Like, whatever.
Check your own self.
Right. It was
Yeah.
uncomfortable and it kind of let me live. Whatever.
Yeah. I don't want to hear
I
that.
don't want to hear that.
We talking about what's happening
Right,
to
right.
me.
That ain't about me right now. It ain't about me right now. But you know what he said? It is about you.
Right.
You don't want getting upset.
And I was like, whatever. And I leave him. I'll separate from him. Then I go sit down and I think about it.
Because you could go to.
Yep.
I'm mad at you too.
You know, you gotta be snappy with it. But then you go sit down and you sit and you ponder and you know what? You're right. I'm gonna let it go. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Let me fix me.
And my dad would tell me, slow down before you pass. And I didn't used to understand that. He said, bro, you gotta take time for yourself in so many ways. Like, I'd be working. I get up, I'd be up. I'm on another job. Like, I'm just working. He said, you can see it. You're tired.
Pause. We never hit record.
Come on. It's on there.
But you're gonna hear all the stuff I said.
Well, it's on there. It happened how it's supposed to happen.
I'm heartbroken. Because I just like to see what the
But
time,
you
how
said
long we've been recording.
But you said record, that's why I thought you hit it.
Oh, well. It's
Yeah,
okay. And there you have it. Don't sit in it.
Nope.
It is what it is.
I'ma show you. I'ma show you.
That's funny.
Never hit record. It's all good. And you know I'm a stickler about details.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's okay though.
It's chopping me right now. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let you know what I'm feeling like. Everything in me wanna say, cut, redo.
That game coming on at 12.
Look.
You not playing with you.
You can't
I'm a little
redo.
burnt.
Oh.
I'm a little burnt.
What time you got?
It's 11:27. Really, Arlene, they probably haven't. It never, probably nothing picked up. It was very quiet and.
Yeah,
I
it
heard,
wasn't
I heard
that
a
bad.
few cars that was really.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Because it went through my mind. Well, at least we got the mics because it ain't gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So That's how we get through
He's
things.
Still sitting in it, huh?
I'm sitting in it. I'm best doing it. Through my Bible. Oh Lord, let me drink my little tea.
But like you said, those moments wouldn't have been the same. That's why everything how it flows is supposed to be like that. Supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm just, man, I don't have time for it.
I'm learning though, like some of that stuff we was talking about, I'm learning how to cut off a thought. But sometimes it is, some thoughts are so overpowering and it's just, but I'm learning. But you know what was bad with me? What I do? My life, I feel like my life is on edge. I am expecting the worst to happen 24/7. But this is why. And I don't know why I'm like this. But I feel like if I expect it to happen, when it happens, it's not going to affect me. But that's a lie. That's a lie. And I know.
Yep.
Because I can't even imagine the effect is going to take on me when it actually happens. I'm just assuming and thinking to myself that if I think of it, I'm preparing myself. So my life is on edge 24/7. This is going to happen. Oh, this is going to happen. And I need to stop.
Right.
You hear that? You know, prepare for the worst and all that. You can't
They say
prepare.
prepare for the worst,
But
pray for the
expect the
best.
best.
Yes.
How can you?
Yeah.
Contradicting the things
Yeah.
anyway.
But I think
I'm
telling you, I hate that about myself because I'm constantly like I'm preparing for the worst thing to happen.
It's a false thing that we've been taught our lives, and I feel like it's a protection mechanism.
Yeah.
There you go.
But at the same time, it's causing more harm than it is protecting us because we're perpetuating negative things to happen within our space.
Right.
You can't even flow freely or live your life freely without being burdened by your thoughts.
Yep.
Your thoughts create your reality because you're gonna act the way you think.
And you know, just thinking.
I'm learning that.
Just having a little, one day something. It's gonna be different for everybody, but having some gratitude for things, it changes a lot of your perception.
Gratitude.
You know.
Right.
You need that tree as much as it needs you. See that bird over there?
But I was about to tell you that.
Oh my God, that bell. Oh, gratitude. I already had gratitude, but he has just put a microscope on gratitude for me.
Because that's how I look at it. I don't
See that ant over there? Boom, boom, boom. Watch the way it works. Look at how it do. See that tree? See that bird? You not higher than that tree or that bird. We are all equal.
Yeah.
Right.
But we need one another. Like I know that about that tree. The tree gives me what I need. I give the tree what it needs. It's nothing one more important than the other. Right. But we use it in different ways. You know, houses and all kind of stuff. You know, you get used in different ways. Your body decomposes. It's like this. It's a balance.
Hand in hand.
Yeah, but your spirit leaves and goes into another vehicle. But while you're here in the vehicle, everything got to get treated on an equal playing field. So that's why I like when I understand the negative. That don't mean I got to sit there.
Right.
I understand if there's a hurricane outside, I'm not going to stand in 150-mile winds. I'm not doing it. Right. I'm going inside. It's the same thing. You just got this critical thinking of whatever the situation is and make the best decision for that moment. And that's all I do. Just make the best decision for that moment. It ain't about my feelings. It ain't about her feelings. What's the best decision for the moment? Right. And then we can deal with feelings after that if it's something that we need to discuss that's involving some feelings.
Right.
Because if we're in a situation like she didn't go into detail, but I was telling her if that situation would have went a certain type of way and that person would have said something to you and I'd have took it offensive, I'd have hit that person. Now what space you putting me in because you feel a certain type of way? Because I gotta tell that person something. Like I gotta be in a
an emotion that can change. That can change.
Yeah, that's something you can control. But then what you getting ready to do is not understanding that it's a lot of things that's gonna get attached to that.
Right.
As a man, you're not gonna talk to my woman any kind of way. If she's wrong, she's wrong. Right. But you are not gonna talk to her. Like that. And if I'm wrong, it'd be the same thing. It's just ways to do things, and sometimes like we're not thinking about those things that can make something else become something that it shouldn't. Because we in our feelings.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that person did this. That person told me this. Well, that person have the right to say that.
Right.
you don't have the right not to tell them they can't say it. Especially if they're not being disrespectful. Let me say that. If they're not being disrespectful, then people can say what they want.
Yeah.
Now we in a disrespectful, it's a little different.
They might change them.
Yeah, it's a little different at that point. But for the most part, like people not just disrespectful like that.
Right.
You know, people try their best to be respectful within whatever space they are in, because everybody not taught like you. Yeah. And I had to understand that at a certain point too. Like everybody don't have the manners I got. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Or everybody don't feel the way I feel about this color. Like you just can't.
Simple.
Yeah, you can't do none of that. And that was things like I said, I didn't wake up like this. This was years of me thinking, and going into the army, and you got a lot of time to reflect, and you like, man, this is serious. Like I'm tripping over nothing. It don't even matter, like what I was tripping over before. What about this? What about that?
I think if we all could think like that, I mean, life is really simple. Yeah,
It
we
is.
just complicate. We complicate it.
Yeah, and it's not that it's something that just happens and it's all good. It is a daily fight to keep this type of mindset, because when I told my best friend about it, now she don't think before she speak, right? And so I told her about it, and she was like, now this is before I went to the doctor.
Okay.
So I didn't know. And this was probably like, I got the results like that Wednesday or whatever. Or I went to the ER like the Wednesday. Thursday I was good. The Friday, I might have told her like the Saturday. I was still waiting to go to the specialist. Oh girl, everything gonna be all right. And she said, well, such and such just passed away with thyroid cancer. At this point, I'm still speculating. I don't know what's going on, right?
Thanks, bestie.
Right.
Really
I said, and this person was young,
Yeah.
had a family, just passed away. I seen it on Facebook. I said, okay. So we hung up the phone. I said, goddamn Crystal. I love my friend, but she don't think before she talk. So that night, it was on my mind again. Trying to set in negativity. Well, what if that happened to you? What if that's what's going on with you?
Right.
I said, you know what? I'm not even going to think about it. I'm going to bed. I'm not thinking about that. The next morning, I called her. I said, girl, let me just put you on the front street about something. She's like,
that's
what?
it.
I said, you gotta watch what you say. I said, because if I wouldn't be who I am with the mindset I have about this,
that alone would have taken
you could have put me in a whole tailspin of things.
Because you're stressed yourself
I
out.
said, because of you just saying that. She said, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize what I was saying. We was just caught up in the moment having conversation. I said, I get that, but you gotta watch what you say.
But that's why it's important to have people
and that's
around
why
you.
it's important
To have people that will
monitor who you tell what to.
Yeah.
You understand? Because if you tell the wrong person something, that's why I'm very private about things, and I keep things close knit to me, because it's a time to reveal it. Right. And then there's a time where it's not time to reveal it.
But you gotta check it though. You gotta check that type of stuff.
Not saying that I shouldn't have told her at that time, but it's just saying that in general, that's why some things we gotta keep to ourselves. We can't just go blabber everything to everybody, because you never know what somebody will say, intentionally or not intentionally, that could really do some harm to you, right? So that's why I'm very protective of who I tell what to and when I tell it,
right?
Because of just things like that. But yeah, she was apologetic. I still love you, my girl, if you watch it. But she was very apologetic. She didn't mean no harm by it, but yeah. So it was just a constant.
And it was a learning moment for her. That was a learning, thing.
Yeah, it needed to happen.
Yeah.
Because she learned something from it, and so did I. Never tell her. I'm just joking. I love you, friend. I love you. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our story in a nutshell. I mean, I'm fine. My pathology report came back good.
Well, that's good, Elena. I'm glad you received good news.
Yes. Unexpected health scare. Let me tell you something. My birthday is in a couple of days. I'm embarking on 37. Ain't got my first gray hair.
Child, you don't want to see mine. Thank God I got a little color.
Got my first gray hair. And you know what? I didn't even really feel a way about it. I was like, I got a gray hair.
Yeah. Look at me.
Look at me. I made it. I'm just very appreciative even more. I already had higher appreciation, but it's like it's through the roof now, and it's just like, thank you. Like every second I get, I'm thankful for it even more. Like it's truly a gift. You know they say life is a gift.
Right.
Your health is a gift. That's why I'm back on track, girl. I gained 15 pounds right after my surgery, like in a month.
Right.
And I was like, no, sir, not happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on track with my health right now, watching what I'm eating, exercising, my water intake, that's super important. Getting it together, girl.
This is the end of Broderick and Elena's story. I hope you guys gained some knowledge from it. One thing that I hope you guys gain from it is when you are going through something, don't be afraid, because you know sometimes we can be afraid.
Right.
We don't want to know the bad stuff.
Right.
So we just want to deal with it. However, like I'm not going to find out nothing because it's gonna make it worse. It's gonna make me feel worse about it. So let me just act like none of this is happening and then it'll go away.
But let me
It's
tell
not
you,
gonna go away.
that's how my
It's gonna
dad
get worse.
That's how my dad woke up with stage 4 cancer. Hated to go to the doctor. He seen all
They
the
don't want
signs
the
and
bad
symptoms,
news.
seen blood in the toilet, refused to go. Thank God my mama walked in on him one day, seen the blood in the toilet. She made him go to the hospital, got diagnosed stage 4 cancer.
You see that?
Malignant. But he was never one to go to the doctor. Hated to go to the
And
doctor.
men, y'all stubborn and y'all don't like to go to the doctor. Y'all have to go to the doctor. Go and check out. They'll wrap these. They don't use a bandage. They'll wrap their finger with some tape.
He
No,
getting better.
go check on yourself.
He getting better. He is getting better.
And another thing, black people, ginger ale and crackers don't fix everything. we gonna work on that.
Ginger ale and crackers.
Girl, that don't fix everything.
Oh man.
So, you know, I hope you guys gained something from it, and I know I did, Elena. I need to work on some things with myself. I need to dead some thoughts. How long you say? 17 seconds?
17 seconds.
17 seconds, dead the thoughts. 10 seconds, kill it. Don't even let it get to the 17 mark. Kill it.
Yeah.
Dead it. And yeah, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank
health,
you.
and
Health is a new wealth.
Hey.
Okay. Health is a new wealth. Okay.
And that's it. See you guys next
Thank y'all for listening.
One sound, one scene, one love, one team, one vision, one dream. It's way more than it seems. Aspire, inspire,